after I really started realizing who God really was.
Yeah.
And he began to really set me free from a lot of those different things. It's like I will never silence my voice again.
Yeah.
I will never allow the enemy to silence my voice again, because there are so many people who need to hear the things that we are talking about.
Yeah.
Not just me, but we're talking about, and it's going to begin to shift the trajectory of generations, not just a generation, but generations.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents, our generation, our children, and connecting those generations together, and essentially allowing not just one generation, but 2, possibly 3 walking into the promised land.
Yeah.
And that was, when I'm getting revelation now as I'm talking about this, I remember saying when I was younger, I just feel like, we're all going to make it. Like, we're going to walk into the promised land together.
Mm-hmm.
When I started reading about in the Bible and everything, that watching the children of Israel walking in circles for 40 years, and people like, oh, well, that was God's plan. No, it wasn't.
No,
it was not. Granted, yes, God did say that to Moses, that that's what was going to happen, but because he knew that they were going to make a choice to do it. And understanding that if they stopped complaining, if they stopped murmuring,
in the journey,
if they stopped worshiping gods that weren't God, it would have been so much better. They could have walked into the promised land, but also God still had to keep his promise, his covenant with Israel. So he's like, I'm going to kill everybody over 20.
Yeah.
20? It was 20, right? Or 40, something like that.
I don't even want to tell you the wrong
20 or 40. It was 20 or 40. Yeah. I'll go back and check in the Bible. If I'm wrong, somebody can throw it in the comments.
It was one of those ages.
It was, I know. It was an age, And understanding, he's like, well, I still have to make this covenant.
Yeah.
I'm a covenant-keeping God, So I'm going to honor that. And seeing, because we look at the children of Israel and we're like, dang, these guys are horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I would never do that. But we are.
Yeah, a lot of us are doing it on a daily basis.
Yeah, just in a different generation.
Yeah.
And every single generation has done the same exact thing.
Yeah.
And I sometimes feel like God's like, man, when is there going to be a generation that's actually going to get it right?
Yeah.
When is there going to be a generation that's going to be like, you know what, enough of this. We're going to run and chase after God. We're going to obey the laws of God and the words of God and begin to change this world and bring heaven down here. And I could be wrong, and I just sometimes feel like God would be like, dang, they finally got it right. Jesus, so go ahead, saddle up that, let's go ahead and get there. They got it. Yeah, we can finally celebrate and turn up, But I just feel like God is allowing these generations to try to get it right every time.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to send anybody to correction. He doesn't send anybody to hell. No. We send ourselves to hell. Sorry. And he's just like, I want them to get it right, because I want them all to come here. Yeah. From the gangbangers to the sex traffickers to the murderers to the person that did the worst thing that you can ever think of, who's sitting in prison probably right now to this day. Yeah. It's like, I want that person right there to realize who I am and use that same hatred and turn it into love. Yeah. Like, that would be a testimony of God existing. Yeah. To see the worst person in the world might still be in prison because of his consequences. You have to serve the time. You got your consequences. But he's, running through the prisons, just live for Jesus. Jesus loves you. And just see, like, a revival break out of prison. Yeah. Like, that would be beautiful, bro. Like, saw the fall. Like, yeah, bro. Like, seeing on the news that there was a prison riot, but there was a prison revival. Yeah. People just begin to fall on their knees and worship God. People just begin to give their lives to God. They put down their shanks. They came together. The KKK members, I don't know all the gang members, but y'all get it, the Black Panthers, they all came together and was like, it don't matter about color. It don't matter about your race. You're part of the human race. Yeah. So God loves you, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah, that would definitely be amazing. I think and just getting back to this generation, I feel like the enemy he's extremely clever. He's been here for time, and all he's doing is throwing people off of purpose. People like this generation. If I can make you forget or not think about your purpose or why you were designed, and who is the creator, then everything else is easy. If I can make you follow instead of lead, like you know, and again, like I don't think they're. In my personal opinion, I just think I don't think it will be a generation that will completely get it right. But I do think just like in every generation, there's gonna be some great leaders that's gonna be able to really, really make an impact for the kingdom. And that's why I love working with the youth. Just being able to teach and train those young leaders up, those world changers. I heard somebody say it because I said the they are the youth are our future. And somebody said no, they're now. And there's a lot of great young people that's going to do some amazing things in the kingdom, and I'm excited. Just to be a part of that. And so. And you have a great little one. You got a great little one too, man. I see how you training her and teaching her, man. That's a beautiful thing. As a father, seeing that, man, that is beautiful. Do you find it hard raising a daughter in this current culture that we're in? Raising her up in the way of God.
So it can be rough, like, to be honest with you, because understanding that women are, and of course I have no disrespect to any women, but women are more emotional creatures. And so she's emotional, and of course I have to be very careful on how I portray things to her. And of course she's always asking why can't I do this? Why can I do that? Why can I hang out with this friend? Why can I hang out with that friend? And it's like, because they're bad influences. The Bible says, and I'm quoting because I might not say it right, but bad company corrupts good characters, or you know what I'm saying. So understanding that she's good. I can see the potential that's in her. Like, I know she's a leader. I know it's inside of her.
Absolutely.
I know that she's going to shift generations as well.
I believe it.
I honestly believe that, what God's going to allow me to accomplish on earth is going to be like the tip of the iceberg of what she's going to do. And I know that God has placed a lot of things in my spirit to accomplish in this world. Because of really the time when she was born. We were growing in a great time period. Everything started to be pushed exponentially. Like I know we're talking about that on Tuesday, about how the way our parents grew up, it took 20, 30 years to realize I'm a this, I'm a that, and God took that time to develop because he knew there was that time. Our grandparents took even longer, and everything, I know some people got it right quick, but for the most part, there were a lot of us that took a while. But nowadays, man, it's like, you hear people, man, I just found God 3 years ago, and now you see him in the pulpit, like, praying down fire, man. These different things, because God understands that, like, the end time is very near. I know we've been saying it for years, but again, understanding that a day to us is, 1,000 years to us is a day to God. So like, it's like, it's coming up in 7 days, for me, but that's 7,000 years for y'all. So, but I gotta speed this up. So, yeah, man, it can be rough. It can, it can be tough because there's so many influences that are out there. Just like you said, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's the cell phone, there's people who are bullies. You know, there's so many different things that can sway her mind, you know, sway her will and her emotions. But, you know, understanding that, you know, of course the Bible says, you know, train up a child the way they should go and they'll never depart.
Yeah.
Like, that's real.
That's the word.
That is real because my parents, when I didn't have her at the time because I was in the military, like, would drill gospel music into her mind, and now she loves singing gospel music. Daddy, can we listen to Kirk Franklin? Can we listen to this person? Can we listen? Like, sure, baby, let's go ahead and ride to it. And we having our own concert in the car, you know, turning up and everything, and, you know, listening and watching her brain work is very interesting to see those wheels turn, and she's like, okay, well, maybe you are right on that. And, you know, to see her sometimes, most times, actually make a godly decision. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. Well, God did say that, so maybe I shouldn't do that. And, you know, it's not even me forcing her, coercing her to do anything. It's like I give her two options, and she makes the right choice. You know, so it is hard, but I feel like, you know, she's going to again be that leader in middle school and high school to really be getting to bring her friends to Christ. You know, having that entrepreneurial mindset. You know, because I give her that mindset. And, you know, again, that's something that wasn't even forced on her. You know, I was starting a dog treat business, and she asked me, "Can I be a part of that? Like, can I do that with you?" So I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like, I don't have to, you know, kind of spoon feed you on that. You're ready to do it. You know, it's just like, of course, I have to show her the ins and outs of it. So, yeah, sometimes I wish I had a boy. And again, I'm gonna throw that question back on you because you got two boys. So, you know, how is it raising boys in this generation? Is it hard? Is it easy? You know, what's up?
I would say it is a challenge. I feel like whether it's a girl or boy, it's going to be challenging in this current climate that we're in. But the approach is different. With my boys, I can be more. I can be more. Go sit down. I can be more.
Cry if I say that. I'm like,
I can be. Granted, my words, they carry a lot of weight to my boys. So if I speak in a certain tone, they automatically break down crying. Like, and so like I'm aware of that. And I remember growing up, it was, and it's just finding that balance because growing up, and I'm sure you experienced that. Like it was, don't ask questions. Like, do it because I told you. Like my mind wouldn't even process like, well, why do I have to do that? Because I felt like even if I thought it, I'm gonna get smacked. Like I'm gonna get smacked. So it's finding that balance. And I remember I told my son, Jaden, I said something like, I told him to do something, and he was just like, but why, Daddy? And my first thought was like, are you questioning me? Are you questioning me? But I thought about it. I was like, it's a legit question. Why? So finding that balance of it's okay to ask questions. Not talk back to me, but it's okay to ask those questions because I want you to be. Because even with our faith, even when I was taught like, don't question God. Do not question God. Don't, you know. So, and it's like, okay, it's okay to question God. I had to learn that as I grew, develop my relationship. So just going through that process with my boys and just looking at my boys, I look at them and they are they're extremely smart. Extremely smart. And looking at them and like, man, my boys are going to be like 20 times better than me.
I get you.
And whatever I do. And I look at them, I'm like, man, I have the responsibility to shape and mold and guide these boys into God-fearing, world-changing men. And so I take a pride in that. I take pride in just teaching them on a daily basis. But going against culture. I grew up in a household where, like, my parents were extremely strict.
Yeah.
We were in church Monday through, whether it was choir rehearsal, Sunday service, Sunday school, then regular service, and then evening service. Then you're back on choir rehearsal, and then Bible study, and then it was
prayer night.
And don't let it be a revival, because we there every night, every night sitting there, and we better not fall asleep.
It's midnight.
So
what
it's
do you
like
expect?
I'm trying to it's like having balance, making balance, and so like with my boys, it's like I'm not forced. I don't want to force them into giving their life to Christ. I don't want to scare them into giving their life to Christ. I want them to make their own choice, develop their own relationship. So, but as a parent, like I'm like, here's a street.
Yeah.
If you swerve over here, you are outside of God.
Yeah.
If you stay in these lines, like you're good.
Yeah.
I can't make you. I can't force you to go this way. But I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna teach you. Yeah. I'm gonna be there to answer your questions. I may not know everything, but here's a book. Here's a book with the answers.
Exactly.
You know. So and it's just going against culture, because culture is everything against God. Everything against God with who you are, what you believe.
Yeah.
If you even your sexuality and everything. It's just different things that they're putting in TV shows. And I grew up again in a strict household where Power Rangers was of the devil to my parents. It's like, you can't watch Power Rangers, that is demonic. And I used to, it's just Power Rangers. It's just Power Rangers. And so but you know, understanding that the enemy is creative and he is slick. So I would find them, they would just be watching something harmless, and I'm looking in and I was like, that's a little innuendo. I caught that. So just having balance. Now it's to a point where the way we raise our boys is it's like they know when it's something funny. Yeah. Like that doesn't seem right, and they'll come get us. And he's working his own little relationship. Like just Jaden is just he's one of a kind. Like he came in like, Dad, I'm gonna be a pastor. I was like, I never wanted to be a pastor. I never wanted. I would be in lines and they were like, oh, whose child is this? He's gonna be preached. I'm like, you cannot be talking about me, because I'm not gonna be in no pulpit. And
look at you.
But it's just, and once I heard my son say that, you know, I'm like, it is my responsibility to guide him, to teach him, and to help him develop and grow. And help him reach purpose, and fight against, while fighting against culture and everything that the enemy is trying to throw at this generation. So, but long story short, it is difficult, but you know, I love the challenge. I love the challenge, and we gonna make it happen. Make sure my boys become who they supposed to be.
Yeah, man, definitely. You are built for that challenge, man. Like, if God brings us to it, he's going to bring us through it.
Oh yeah.
You know, so if he gave us those children, he's going to allow us to raise them the best way that we can.
Yeah.
You know, the godly way that we can, and then it's up to them to, all right, I got this, or nah, I'm going to go this way, you know. But yeah, man, Mr. Jaden and Mr. Avery, they're my dudes, man.
Characters.
Yeah, bro. Like, especially seeing Jaden in school, he's funny, man. And you know, every time he sees me, hi, Mr. Jackson. I'm like, hi, sir. How you doing? You know, I compliment him on something he's wearing.
Yeah.
Like, your jacket, man. It looks nice. Thank you.
Character.
Yeah, but I can see the leader in him.
Yeah, he's already, a leader,
bro. Oh, you ain't supposed to be doing this. The teacher said, and I'm like,
we get on him about that.
You're right, bro.
we get on it because it's like, you know, naturally, like, I'm like, we tell him all the time, like, you are a leader. You should not be following.
Yeah.
We get a text from the teacher like, oh, Jaden's doing this, and it's like, we have to You gotta have this conversation. You are a leader. You should not be following. So I know he's going through that process. And, there's gonna be times where he may follow. He may follow, but I want you to be following at least the right follow the right person.
Good leaders.
So man, those some characters.
Some characters. Some wonderful characters though.
You can have a whole episode with just them talking.
Right?
Just them
talking about whatever they want to talk about, man.
Yeah, some Roblox, some Fortnite.
Right?
Mixed in with a little bit of Jesus. Veggie Tales.
Right? Oh, Veggie Tales is that jam, man. Yeah. I remember watching that growing up.
Veggie Tales. We still make him watch it.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Like Veggie Tale has some Jesus in it.
Oh yeah.
There's some soul in that, some spirit in that.
Shaped as an apple.
Like that's a black woman.
Yeah, man.
Anything else?
Hey, man. I do. My last. What I would ask you, because I know somebody's out there watching. Like, I've been out the game for a while.
Yeah.
I've been married for 9 years. 9 years.
That's beautiful,
man. And I don't know what it like. How is it in this current world that we live? How is it being a saved single Christian? Like, like how is
so, bro? I've been learning a lot. It's different from when I first started dating to now. Like, it's been day and night, and understanding that sometimes I feel like when we're in this dating world, we don't include God until after the fact. And that's where our mistakes lie, because we're like, oh my goodness, she's beautiful, she got the everything. So God, this must be of you, and it's like, that's not always true. The same prayers, we pray to God, the devil hears them too. So I'm gonna send you a counterfeit. To block what God has to send you and everything. And understand, bro, I tell you, understanding that there's so much that has been interpreted incorrectly. Like, I thought like the verse that a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, bro. I was out there running and searching high and low. Where you at, girl? And just looking. But understanding that if you're in the will of God, that's the first part. If you're in the will of God, God will place her in your path. You don't have to go searching for her. He will place her there. But also again understanding that we have free will, so we can make that choice of I'm gonna take her, or nah, I'm good, or she could do the same thing. But really understanding that, I'm gonna say it like this. Essentially, it's not our job to go out there and look for our spouses. God is going to connect them together, just like He does with everything else in our lives. He connects us with our purpose. He connects us with the right people. Like, I didn't come look for you. God connected us together. I didn't come look for my brother, but I know that's a different story. But still, God still connected us together. Even though we're brothers, because not everybody has that close relationship with their siblings, but we follow God and we connected together. So really understanding, bro, that when we're submitted to God, He again gives you the desires of our heart. And He knows that most of us desire to be married. So He's going to be like, all right, cool. Because of what level you're at, I'm going to send you this woman, or I'm going to send you this man, being a woman, and everything. And, understanding that, because again, I used to believe that there was only one specific person for you. Like, God, like, this person you built specifically for me. But that's not entirely true. It depends on our location. It depends on where our mindset is at. It depends on where our growth is at. Like, there's so many different factors where God is like, okay, well, this person that I was going to give to you is not right for you anymore because of where you're at, or because they fell off too. Could have been it too. So now I'm going to essentially create or redesign a person for you. And honestly, I could be wrong. Sometimes I feel like, because God is who He is and I would never put a limit on God, I honestly believe that there are some times in life where God's like, you know what, I'm going to create somebody out of thin air to put into your life so that they can be that person that you need. You know, but of course that person doesn't know that, you know, God gave them their background story and all this stuff, and they remember their dreams and their childhood and all these things that happened to them, and they got friends, you know, and all this good stuff, and it's like, yeah, I remember being around this person, that's my best friend or whatever, but God essentially fathomed that up for you because he understands again how important marriage is, you know, how strong marriage is. And like, so now, bro, like, I'm just out here chilling. Like, I'm out here developing my relationship with God. Yeah, I see some gorgeous women. Yeah. You know, but my mindset has changed. You know, renewing that mind on a daily basis. Yeah. I see, you know, I seen a beautiful woman earlier today, yesterday, or something like that, and bro, back in the day, I would have still been thinking about her. Yeah. You know, I would have still been like, dang, I should have got her number. I should have got this. Nah, I just had a conversation with her, and I'm like, Lord, if this is in your will, cool. But if not, I'm going to keep it moving and mind my business, you know, and that's how I kind of have it now. It's like, okay, I see her, she's cool, it is what it is. But, you know, like you said the other day, you know, when God places that person in your life, yeah, like, you know, like, okay, this is beyond a shadow of a doubt, like, this is the person that's for me, you know. So that's essentially where I'm at and what I'm waiting for. It's like, God, I'm right now, I'm like Abraham when it came to Isaac. I'm going to give him back to you, or I'm giving my future wife back to you. I'm not going to lean on my own understanding, because I know that if I give her back to you and I worship you and I do the things that you want me to do, I am certain that you're going to give her back to me. Yeah, man. I'm certain that you're going to take off those scales off of her eyes, you know, send the angels her way, send those people her way to be like, you know, I don't care if she's in Mexico or on the other side of the world.